Hello everyone, what's up? Welcome to the GMB channel. Hope you will enjoy our video. Before we begin, hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Here is the news title. Penny Mordaunt condemns Labour's heartbreaking damage to UK and blasts Starmer. The Tory star who could have succeeded Boris Johnson is furious at the squandering of potential. She tells us why she would love to return to Parliament. Penny Mordaunt won the attention of the world as a sword-bearer at the coronation of King Charles. And now she wants to get back onto the political battlefield. The former defense secretary says she finds it heartbreaking to watch what Sir Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves are doing to the country, and she is ready to grasp opportunities to return to Parliament. She wants to play the fullest possible part in giving people reason to feel pride in their nation, but fears a surge in unemployment is coming if Labour presses ahead with its tax plans. Ms. Mordaunt, who is named after the cruiser HMS Penelope and trained as a naval reservist, was among the Conservative casualties of the summer's disastrous election. But defeat by just 780 votes in her beloved constituency of Portsmouth North has not dimmed her determination to make her mark on Britain. "I would obviously love to come back to Parliament, but I shall try and make myself useful in the meantime," she says. One of the great what-ifs of modern British politics is what would have happened if Ms. Mordaunt and not Liz Truss had succeeded Boris Johnson as Prime Minister in 2022. This paratrooper's daughter finished in the final three in the leadership contest, and her fans admire her fierce commitment to national defense, her personal warmth, and her battle-hardened communication skills. She has first-hand experience of crisis from her time growing up in Portsmouth. Her mother died of breast cancer when she was 15, and her father was diagnosed with cancer shortly afterwards. And Miss Mordaunt had to care for her 9-year-old brother, and she found work as a magician's assistant. "It was the most money that I could earn in the time that I had between working at school and college for my exams and taking care of my family," she explains. "That's what my community taught me. When the chips are down and you have to take responsibility, step up and do what is required. I obviously learned a few card tricks along the way, but that was the main lesson I learned as a magician's assistant." She remains at ease in the spotlight, as demonstrated when she clutched ceremonial swords for more than an hour during the coronation. As Lord President of the Council, she turned heads with her specially commissioned teal outfit with matching cape and headband, and even former Labour spin guru Alistair Campbell admitted he was in awe at her arm and shoulder strength. She has a simple explanation for how she carried off this feat. "Royal Navy training, mate. I can recommend it. I'd have been stuck without it that day, I can tell you." People still talk to her all the time about the coronation, and she is inspired by the deeply felt love of country she sees. They are very kind about my role in it, but what they are actually talking to me about is how they felt and what it meant to them, and that's been a lovely thing. This gives her hope for the nation. In this time of immense turmoil and what seems to be massive division, it's taught me that actually our country is really strong, and there are these common bonds displayed in our traditions which unite us all. The 51-year-old's desire to return to frontline politics should come as no surprise. When her 2005 attempt to win Portsmouth North ended in a narrow second-place finish to Labour, she received a letter from former Prime Minister Lady Thatcher, telling her to get back on the horse. She describes what Labour has done to the UK in its first 7 months in power as very painful to watch, and she fears worse is to come. "I'm seeing all of this potential and opportunity squandered," she says, speaking days after the Bank of England halved the country's growth forecast for this year to just 0.75%. "I see a complete lack of understanding about how you create wealth, how you actually grow the economy." She considers small businesses the lifeblood of our economy, and argues the government must let wealth-creating heroes get on with their vital mission of generating growth. "Every single thing this government is doing stands in the way of that. And that is heartbreaking to watch," she says. "It makes me really angry, actually, because you've got these people who are stepping up to take responsibility, who are putting their own money on the line, who are making sacrifices and working hard to create something. and they are being blocked at every turn by people who have no understanding the hike in employers' national insurance contributions, the most damaging of the Chancellor's decisions so far. You are cutting off all the hopes and opportunities and ambitions for those who are in work, and that is a crazy strategy. The consequences of that budget are going to mean that unemployment continues to rise, and I think we're going to see very large numbers of job losses, she warns. She dismisses Nigel Farage's Reform UK as a party which has never taken responsibility for anything, but she acknowledges people are not happy with the status quo. I think people want to be proud of Westminster, she says. They want to be proud of Whitehall. They want to be proud of their local council. But what we have to recognize is there is a gulf between what is being delivered and people's hopes and expectations. We really do have to wake up as a nation. Ms. Mordaunt credits the Tories' crushing election defeat to a failure to address concerns on key issues, including healthcare and the cost of living crisis, and she warns of the consequences if people look to the future with fear. Everything her party stands for, as well as democracy and capitalism itself, require you to believe in the future, she argues, adding, if we create that mood and we give people hope again and we demonstrate our competence, that is how we will win back trust. She praises Tory leader Kemi Badenoch, a fellow contestant in the 2022 leadership election, for working to build the answers for those challenges the country is facing, and not being blown about by the Westminster bubble discussions. She should stick to what she's doing, and she knows it's a tough shift. But she's up for doing it, and she's more than capable of doing it, she says. When asked whether she plans to stand in a by-election or wait until the next general election to try and win back a seat in the Commons, Ms. Mordaunt keeps her options open. I've been in this business long enough to know that a large chunk of it is luck and timing, she says. Look, I'm ready for all eventualities, but my main focus is where I am now. What can I do to help my country do well? Right now, she chairs maritime technology company Subseacraft and the Coalition for Global Prosperity, a group founded by David Cameron which champions Britain's strategic role in international development. I care passionately about our nation, and particularly its defense and security and its economic success as well, and I'll work with anyone to get great things to happen for our country, she says. That's what gets me out of bed in the morning, and I'll continue to do my bit from where I am. It is uncertain when Ms. Mordaunt will dive back into full-time politics, but when she does, she is sure to make a splash. Tory members turn on Kemi Badenoch in favor of one surprise new leader in poll. A new survey of party members suggests they already have buyer's remorse from last year's leadership contest. A new survey of Tory party members suggests they already have buyer's remorse from last year's leadership contest as they turn on Kemi Badenoch. The opinion survey of party members, conducted by the Conservative Home website, sees Tory activists rank the party's front bench, in order of preference. Since the last so-called league table, Ms. Badenoch has plummeted 19 points to just 13.3% approval among party members. This comes on top of her fall of 40 points in the previous survey. She is now only the 14th most popular member of her own shadow cabinet, a long way away from her previous popularity when she frequently came top of the rankings while in Rishi Sunak's cabinet. In a stark reversal of fortunes, Robert Jenrick is now the most popular member of the shadow cabinet, on 57.4%. Coming so soon after Ms. Badenoch beat Mr. Jenrick in last year's leadership contest, it suggests party members may already be thinking they picked the wrong candidate. Shadow Chancellor Mel Stride comes in second, on 46.7 points, after a strong performance taking on Rachel Reeves's disastrous economic record. Shadow Home Secretary Chris Philp comes in third, just behind Mr. Stride on 45.1. Meanwhile, Shadow Foreign Secretary Priti Patel is in stone-dead last, on 10.2, after sparking a huge row when defending the Tories' record on immigration in government. Conservative Home warns, we can only expect the leadership's low-profile, slowly but surely strategy, which already cracked with last week's immigration announcement, to crumble further. Even if the membership continues to narrowly favor it, Badenoch and her team need to change the narrative before her first impression as leader locks in. But it also highlights why the 2-year wait on major announcements, and perhaps, to an extent her entire leadership pitch, were unrealistic. Politics abhors a vacuum, and between Reform UK and a vast Labour backbench, there is more than enough political drama to keep the media entertained without the Conservatives getting even a mention. The latest set of polls mostly put the Tories in third place, behind both Labour and Kemi Badenoch in favour of surprise new leader in Poll A. New survey of Conservative Party members suggests they are already experiencing buyer's remorse following last year's leadership contest, as support for Kemi Badenoch plummets. The latest opinion survey, conducted by the Conservative Home website, ranks the party's frontbench in order of approval, revealing a significant shift in the preferences of Tory activists. Badenoch's rapid decline. Since the last so-called league table, Badenoch has seen her approval rating drop by 19 points to just 13.3%. This follows an earlier decline of 40 points, marking a dramatic reversal in her popularity. Once a leading figure frequently topping the rankings while in Rishi Sunak's cabinet, she has now fallen to 14th place among her own shadow cabinet members. The decline in Badenoch's approval has coincided with a surge in support for Robert Jenrick, who now tops the rankings with 57.4% approval. Given that Badenoch triumphed over Jenrick in last year's leadership contest, this shift suggests that party members may be reconsidering their decision. Shifting power dynamics in the Tory frontbench. While Badenoch's support wanes, other key members of the shadow cabinet are seeing increased backing. Shadow Chancellor Mel Stride comes in second place with 46.7%, largely due to his performance in challenging Labour's economic policies. Shadow Home Secretary Chris Philp follows closely behind at 45.1%. Shadow Foreign Secretary Priti Patel is now the least popular member of the shadow cabinet, with an approval rating of 10.2%. Patel has come under heavy criticism following her defense of the Conservative Party's immigration record, which sparked significant internal backlash. Party fractures and strategic concerns. The latest figures raise concerns about Badenoch's leadership approach. Conservative Home warns that her strategy of maintaining a low profile while implementing gradual reforms is faltering. This approach was already showing cracks after last week's immigration policy announcement, and members are increasingly uneasy about the lack of major policy moves. The analysis suggests that if Badenoch fails to regain momentum soon, her leadership could become permanently associated with stagnation. Conservative Home states, even if the membership continues to narrowly favor it, Badenoch and her team need to change the narrative before her first impression as leader locks in. Moreover, the party faces a growing challenge from external political forces. With Reform UK and a dominant Labour Party dominating media coverage, the Conservatives risk fading into political obscurity unless they reassert their identity and strategy. Polling woes. Tories in third place beyond internal party dynamics. The Conservatives face a broader crisis in public support. Recent polling data consistently places the party in third place, trailing behind Labour and Reform UK. This further intensifies the pressure on Badenoch's leadership, as party members seek a path forward that can reinvigorate the party's electoral prospects. The road ahead, Badenoch and her team must urgently address the growing dissatisfaction within the party. Key steps could include defining a clear policy vision. Members are looking for decisive leadership. Announcing bold policies could help shift the narrative. Engaging the grassroots. Rebuilding relationships with the party base through town halls and direct outreach could bolster support. Addressing internal divisions. Uniting different factions within the party will be crucial for maintaining stability. Countering the Reform UK surge. The rise of Reform UK presents a significant electoral threat. The Conservatives must craft a strategy to win back disaffected voters. As the political landscape continues to shift, the coming months will be critical in determining whether Badenoch can turn her fortunes around, or whether the Conservative Party will once again find itself facing another leadership contest. With internal dissatisfaction growing and polling numbers slipping, the future of the Conservative Party remains uncertain. While Robert Jenrick's rise may indicate a potential successor, Badenoch still has time to change the narrative, if she acts swiftly and decisively. So what do you guys think about this update? Let me know in the comment below. If you like my video, please press like button and subscribe for more. Hope I'll see you in next video.